completely. Hello and welcome. It is I, Sylvia, coming to you from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea. And today it is really very beautiful. The sun is shining, birds are singing, and I said it might be the first proper day of summer today. This is quite inspiring. And so today I thought the topic of our conversation might be inspiration. Good morning, dear Ilka and Marianne. Welcome. How lovely to have you here with me this morning. Oh, yeah. Before we get into the inspiration, good morning, Karen. Hello. Aha. Yeah, it seems we're streaming to Facebook as well today. Um, Strange clouds must have cleared there. Well, perhaps it's a matter of inspiration. Who knows? Great. It's a great topic, is inspiration. Excuse me, guys. Oh, just an upwelling of something when I said the word. It's really quite fun. And well, behind me you can see my recent piece, which is actually called Inspiration. And that came about as I was just feeling really bored and listless. And I know the cure for this. A pencil and a piece of paper. And I just start doodling something. And I doodled this lightning style line. And it was like, ooh, I'm going to make a work of art out of that. And I'm going to call it lightning. No, that's not it. It's inspiration. So, yeah. And so from sitting around and feeling meh, there's me jumping up and getting the canvas out and giggling to myself and having a clear idea in my mind what I wanted it to look like. And I will not lie to you people. Oftentimes, when I have an idea in my mind of something that is supposed to look like something, it doesn't end up quite like I had envisioned it. The reason for that is that when I envision things, there are, of course, no limitations. Things are flawless and perfect and shiny, and everything is perfect. Then you try and sort of manifest that down into a hard object. And there are many challenges on the way as it sort of falls through the dimensions and spins and turns and lands somewhere. But I will say that in the case of inspiration there behind me, it came out pretty much exactly like I envisioned it. Oh, that's a difficult word to say. Envisioned it. Ooh. Ha! Good morning, Clive and Barbara. Hello there. Welcome. Yeah, inspiration today. Um, it's just a cool thing. Just the word, inspiration. What am I going to talk about today? Oh, let's talk about inspiration. I think everybody needs some serious inspiration, especially in this day and age when there is so much negativity and critical everything, and we have to be critical of everything. And ugh, this really, it's really an absence of inspiration. I particularly am finding this with popular culture, with music, with movies, particularly with television. I just don't know what's happened, that the inspiration has just flown out of the door. And we can't blame the global panic pandemic on this, because this started long before we ever had the events of 2020 unfolding, long before that things became very negative and very uninspiring. So, yeah, we need more inspiration in the modern world. I believe this absolutely. And because we are doing modern energy, we have, of course, a huge competitive advantage over other people. Because when we say the word inspiration, we take that literally in like putting more spirit or energy into yourself or other people. And I'm here this morning and hopefully helping to raise some energy, which is, in fact, inspiration. It's a funny thing that it's like when we think of inspiration, we think in terms of this proverbial lightning strike from above. And it's completely unpredictable. It's random. It may or may not come. For people who are depressed, it feels like it'll never come again. And while you are depressed, it's highly unlikely to come because it doesn't really come from randomly from some muse or some god in the sky throwing a lightning bolt into your head. It's just really not where inspiration comes from. It's a wellspring that comes from within and just goes like a fountain, and it inspires you, it energizes you. That's the other word that I would use for that. It makes you tingle from head to foot. Your body comes to life and ideas are flowing like a river, sometimes like a waterfall. And yeah, and this is a different state of being. And with all that energy and all those ideas, of course, we then jump up and take inspired action. And I use that term, inspired action, because it takes us away from the concept of hard work. When I was a kid, I was always told that in order to be successful, you have to work hard. You have to sweat and be in pain and until your back breaks. And you just have to grit your teeth and fight through all the pain and the hatred of your work in order to succeed. You know, you have to work hard. But I never liked that. I will honestly admit that even as a very small squirtling, I didn't like the idea of literally working my fingers to the bone. In fact, I actually remember somebody saying that to me for the first time, and I looked down at my dear mops and I was like, no, I don't want to work my poor fingers to the bone. Darling things that they are. I need them for all sorts of things, for holding a paintbrush, for typing, for stroking, for touching, for feeling. I do not wish to work my fingers to the bone. Does that mean you can't be successful? Well, I'd say the exact opposite. And there's where inspired action comes in. Because when you are doing inspired action, well, it's not work. It's not. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. When you are truly inspired, in other words, when you are full of energy so that it really literally just bubbles out of you, out of every pore, every cell, makes your fingers tingle, puts the hairs at the back of your neck up, makes your feet want to start to tap. And you're so full of energy, you have to get up and do something with it. That's inspired action. And that is never hard work. And I believe this based on my long experience in the world, that inspired action is the most direct route to any kind of success. And I don't just mean that in a business context, in a work context. I mean that in any context. Inspired action, is, I don't know, it's when a mother says to the kids who are arguing and fighting in front of the television, hey guys, I've just had a brilliant idea. Let's go out and hunt some butterflies. And everybody just stops fighting, is excited, and starts running out of the house to the local common and laughing and having a good time. Inspired action. It's beautiful. But, of course, inspired action is preceded by inspiration. Let's see what folks are saying here. Yeah, Ilka says, I believe that too. And already with the thought, the energy mind is reacting and providing. Yeah, inspiration. So then we can ask ourselves the question of, how do we do inspiration? How do we do inspiration? Now, in modern energy, we have 1,000,001 ways, I kid you not, to do inspiration. I mean, just where do we start? I did a 12-part course on the power of the positives. And every part of that 12-part course has at least 5 or 6 methods and techniques to raise energy. And raising energy is just that, is inspiring yourself, putting more spirit into yourself. And yeah, that's what modern energy is actually all about. That's really all we do. We want to get people to be more inspired, more energy rich, which makes them expand, and better ideas come to them and new ideas, and they get the energy to do something with it instead of, sitting at home and sobbing or going into psychotherapy, which is just a tragedy, isn't it? Yeah, so inspiration. Now, I think today I'm wearing my new UFO. After the inspiration was finished, I'm obviously then always on the lookout for the next thing. It's like eating and drinking in a way. So you've had a lovely meal and you're okay for a little while, but soon enough, you're starting to look around for the next meal. And I feel like art. I feel about that like art, that I'm always looking for the next thing because it's fun. It inspires me. It does something for me. It's a big part of my work. The reason that my work isn't like that of other people is because I do art and they don't. So this combination of research and science and art is unusual, but I'm hoping that in the future that will be much more prevalent and people won't be such one-trick ponies anymore and actually use these different modalities and different ideas to spark off each other, which would be marvelous. Yes, I was looking around for the next thing and I was doodling along, and there came to me a UFO. A UFO came to me. I was doodling a UFO, and I thought, how remarkable that I have never made a work of art that features a UFO. I've made an illustration for the Supermind course and also for Star Matrix, but I've never actually made a work of art featuring a UFO. So I went ahead and made myself a little holographic UFO to wear. And yeah, that was inspired action. I've got to get this done because the resin takes 24 hours to cure, and I want to wear it tomorrow for Sunday Live. And I also made a little cupcake of a UFO. This is more purple in real life than, just gonna. It's cool, isn't it? And when I titled it, I thought, oh dear, look at that. It's called UFO number 1. There's a presupposition inherent in that. But I mean, I love space. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, always have been since as a young child. I was super inspired by science fiction. Super inspired. Used to absolutely love it, and it used to get my young aspects so excited and so happy, so inspired. So perhaps the UFO is coming in to inspire me to something new, to move along a new project or something. This is kind of groovy. So yeah, let's start with that then. Let us start with that. What inspired you as a squirt as tremendously as Star Trek inspired my younglings? What really got you somehow to wake up to, wow, I love that? What was that really, really, when you think back on it, you had the posters and possibly the toys and everything, and the t-shirt, if possible, of this thing, and the energy of this thing somehow awakened something in you that was new, that was different, and that was exciting in a way nothing else you'd ever come in contact with did that for you. This was definitely the case with Star Trek for me. Absolutely, 100%. And there was also a German TV show called Orion, which really, really excited the young aspect. And I think if we are thinking back on that, first of all, and remembering that sense of wow that we had when we were younger as younglings, when we really got super excited about something. I'm just having this picture of a little boy in Superman pajamas with a towel tied round his neck, just running through the house just before bedtime. And the parents are like, oh, for the love of God, you stop it, you're going to overhuddle yourself. But the kid is just flying and so, well, inspired. So inspired by Superman. And I think if we kind of remember that and connect with that and really not just in thought terms, but in physical terms of what that felt like when, I don't know, possibly a new cartoon was purchased on the way home from school that had just come out with new pictures and stuff, that sort of excitement, or when the theme tune came on. I mean, I still to this day can't help but shiver when I hear the opening piece of Star Trek, Space, the Final Frontier. Ah, wonderful. Oh, Karen. Oh, please, don't be afraid. Let us be completely non-judgmental here, because this is just, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed that you liked Superman as a kid, or that you were really into Star Wars, or don't be ashamed of this. It's there is something about these things, these stories, that ignited something in your energy system that wasn't ignited before, that was asleep before. And finding ways to ignite our energy systems so they expand and evolve and go to the next level. I mean, that's really one of the really big things that I want to learn more about. I mean, we know a lot more than most other people how you get there. But yeah, these things are important. You could say they are holy, not because of who made them what they are, or whether they're worthy or merititious or anything like that. They're holy because they had that effect on you. That makes them holy for you, important. And when we remember back on that, what that felt like, it gives us a guide today to remember what real inspiration actually feels like. And we kind of go, oh, wow, that's so different from, how I feel today after I've meditated for 6 hours, or, this is just, I've forgotten the power of inspiration to make you jump up and do stuff. I absolutely love it. See what some other people have here to say. Marianne says, when I was a young child, I heard about the pyramids of Egypt. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, that goes back further back for me than the Star Trek inspiration. I got some big book thing for Christmas when I was a little squirt, and there were pictures of dinosaurs in there. and I'd never seen dinosaurs before. I was like, oh my God, my little aspect was super inspired by dinosaurs. And another thing there, some years later, really, really excited about the old Greek hero stories, like the Odyssey. That my aspects were super excited about that. That was just before, I think, the sci-fi and the Star Trek. But yeah, thank you, Marianne, for reminding me of those sort of things. That's fascinating. Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's where we need to start with our own personal inspiration, to take a bit of an inventory of what inspires us, what has inspired us in the past, to remember what that feels like, so that we don't mistake, sort of mild twitching with true inspiration, and that we continue to seek that we literally say to ourselves, okay, right, all right, this is all good and well. I love doing my work, but what I want out of life is, I want this state of inspiration. I want to find that thing, that next thing, the next highest taste, this evolution. And when I'm thinking about that, I'm immediately also thinking how sad it is when people get stuck doing the same thing over and over again. You know, when, I don't know, when they start collecting frogs when they were like 3 years old, and they're still collecting frogs when they're 99. And I'm kind of thinking, at some point, some evolution should have taken place there. You know, but who am I? Who am I to know about people's soul's journey? But I do feel that they are the inspirations take us to the next level. Every time that happens, that we are truly inspired by something, it expands, it enriches us. The other things are not disrespected, and they're not going away. I still love the Greek hero myths and the stories about the Greek gods. I still do. And I know a lot about them because my aspects spend a lot of time immersing in that, thinking about it and playing it out and reading the texts. And it's not gone. It's just become a part of the energy field. And the same with Star Trek. It's totally still there. It's still inspiring. And it's not stopping me from going for the next adventure. And somehow or other, here, this I don't know what my dear energy mind has in mind with these little UFOs. I don't. Not entirely sure. But as I engage with this, and I am excited and inspired about it. I mean, I had this idea like a day ago, and we already have a pendant, we already have a cupcake, we already have a design for a much bigger painting, but I need to get a new canvas first. I was going to put it on one that I had, but it's not big enough. So I want a big, big UFO on a big canvas. And yeah, it's exciting. That this makes me excited. Oh, tell me some other things that you remember from younger, when that made you really, really excited at the time, if you can share it in on a family friendly channel, because there are also in the things we're not allowed to talk about on Facebook and YouTube, there are also definitely moments of inspiration and inspired action to be found, but we can't talk about those. So yeah, let's stay with the good, family friendly, childhood fun type things. We've had dinosaurs, we had the pyramids in Egypt, we had the Greek stories, we had Star Trek, and we had Donny Osmond. Oh man, yeah, David Bowie. Good gracious, that was exciting. Oh man, David Bowie really inspired me as a young person. Really inspired me. I first saw him when I was about sort of 12, 12 years old. And I was really super inspired by David Bowie, by his music. And it's just a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. And so something that we might do, is to make a note of the things that have inspired you. And perhaps this could come in handy when you're not feeling inspired, when you're feeling meh, to just take out that note, that sheet of paper, those entries in your book of stars, and just say to yourself, man, I want to be inspired. I want to have I want to get the next inspiration. I want to unlock the next thing for me to explore and to add to all these other wonderful things that I've already experienced in my life. And I just, oh, that's so sweet. Let's take that one first. David Bowie, amazing man. Yes, an amazing person indeed. Really, really, really great. And an endless source of I told you so. Because when I first was a Bowie fan, absolutely nobody liked him in Germany at all. And I went on this crazy mission to convince everybody that he was awesome. And I did succeed, I believe. But now that he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all the rest of it, I get to endlessly say, told you so. Extra bonus. I should have a talent agency. I often thought this. In a parallel life, I'm going to start a talent agency because I'm really good at spotting people who have real talent and will make it in the long run. Amazing. Hey, hello there, Safita. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Oh, yeah. That's so sweet. Yeah. Now we're going even further back. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's Marianne saying, after the pyramids of Egypt, I got inspired by the deserts of the world, especially the Sahara. I'm very curious about the Sahara. Very curious. Where's all this bloody sand coming from? There's this, and what's underneath it? I would love a giant space hoover and just hoover up all the sand in the Sahara just to see what's actually underneath there. I have done this in Sanctuary and found remarkable things. So yeah, just talking about things that have inspired us in the past, I believe has inspired us this morning. Ooh. Karen, I just read your comment there, and I understand what you're saying. Very much so. Yes. Cool. Yeah, fun. All right, so I think the demand for inspiration, is really what this Sunday life is all about, is to not accept being uninspired, to not accept doing work that feels tiring and tedious and as though you're working your fingers to the bone. Not accept that. There is a lot of things, I believe, that we have learned to accept or, been trained to accept. Like an ox accepts the yoke kind of deal. That this is how it is and it can't be any other way. And I think we need to unlearn that. I think we need to be more demanding, much more demanding and outright saying this to ourselves, to our dear energy minds, in prayer, if you wish, to be a little bit more demanding and say, look, I want more inspiration in my life. I absolutely need more inspiration in my life to make life easier, to make it more fun. Hey, good morning, Mr. Taylor. Hello, welcome. Getafix, the druid in the Asterix books who planted the seeds of fascination with magic, was always making magic potions as a child based on that. Fantastic. Wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That is so awesome. My current partner is also a huge Asterix and Obelix fan, and I used to love them too as a child. I used to read them too. But while we're at it, what I really enjoyed was I loved the Smurfs. I thought the Smurfs were awesome. They just made me laugh, and I drew endless Smurf cartoons. There's our inspired action there. So, yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I think we should be more demanding of inspiration and inspired action. Now, oftentimes when we get tired or stressed or, generally speaking, don't look after our energy system enough, what can happen that even good things can become tiresome? Like, I am working on what I'm calling my mega project, which is to archive the entirety of what I've been writing over the last 20 years and make a clean slate and start fresh, which is kind of fun. And it's some project. And it's some parts of this are incredibly tedious, having to go through all the old articles and check them all and do things to them and put them in archives and so on and so on. And sometimes what helps me there is to reconnect this to the original vision. Why am I doing this? Why am I sitting here, up to my neck in old articles and doing these repetitive things on the keyboard? Wait a minute, why am I doing this? Ah, yes, because I'm clearing up my timeline for a fresh start. Of course, that's the inspiration. Gonna start afresh. Wow. And there it comes back. And there's the reconnection between the work that I'm doing and the inspiration. And we're back in inspired action rather than just sitting there and going, oh God, another article. Oh no. And the whole sort of personage just melting into this pool of misery. Sometimes it helps to connect with that original vision to re-inspire the inspired action. But if there isn't an original vision at the bottom of it at all, we might want to start separately, just to think whether we want to possibly consider starting to do something else if there is no actual inspiration at the bottom of what you're doing at all. Oh, I've got to put that on the screen. Michael Shirks. Hello, Michael. Never thought about listening to the Enterprise theme separately like a song. Oh my God, yeah, come on. Ooh. I could do that when I was younger. Not so much anymore. Oh, you're most welcome as well. And live long and prosper, my fellow friend. Let's see what Marianne's saying. I felt a little tired and depressed this morning, but remembering things that have inspired me once made me feel much better. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, totally. It's an easy way to do that, rather than having to see when you're feeling a bit meh, you're losing the ability to, reach up to the place where all the ideas are. You need to sort of put up the periscope to get there. But remembering back on previous inspirations is much easier than trying to do something else. So, if I was you, I'd probably make myself possibly a golden pyramid to wear, to tap for inspiration. Like I have a UFO to tap for inspiration. And it's my own UFO, so nobody's going to sue me over Star Trek copyrights. Although, yay, that's a good response. Yay, more demanding of inspiration and inspired action. Absolutely. Yes. And, when you're working with other people, you also want to be kind of getting that so that everybody's on board with that. and there's nobody dragging back who is considering what you're doing to be horrible hard work where your fingers turn into skeletons. What a nightmare that is. Gee, let's destroy that field once and for all. Yeah, inspired action. It's what the world needs more of. And if you are a storyteller, then you can also inspire others with your stories. You know, you can depress the hell out of people. You can make them angry. You can just blind them with light flashes, explosions, and endless car chases so that they feel they've had a good idea. But you could also inspire them. That'd be nice. That would be nice, to have little children running around before they're going to bed in the pajamas with a towel tied around their necks, being Superman. I can fly. Woohoo! That would be so nice. Oh, oh. I think Marianne says, Golden Pyramid, that's a very good idea. Yeah, just sort of a reminder of inspiration. And it looked cool too, wouldn't it? It's easy to make, actually. My head's just constructed it out of aluminium foil and what you call a gold leaf. Yes, aluminium foil, gold leaf, bit of resin, golden pyramid. Woohoo! Okay, guys, yeah, don't want to keep you here for too long today. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, it's summer. Well, today it is, here it is. We all have inspired actions that we could be taking. And so, look, the next time you're looking at something that you need to do, like clearing out a spare bedroom or something, and you're looking at the thing and you're going like, oh, God, and you can just feel your energy just draining away. Please do not beat yourself up for being a bad person, or that you are procrastinating, or that there's something hideously wrong with you. Don't do it. You know, when the energy just drains away like that, then you don't have the energy for hard work. You don't have it. And see, what's happened in the past is that then the punishment comes in. The slave masters with the whips turn up, and they whip the poor slaves into working, even though they don't want to, even though they haven't got the energy. It's the fear of the whip and the pain of the whip that's keeping them going. And I don't think that any of us want to be our own personal slave masters. We have to find other ways to motivate ourselves. And I really like talking of one person as though they were a team. And we're talking about, we're not dealing with one person, we're dealing with an entire team here. We've got the energy system, got the physical body, got the multiple personalities, depending on the aspects of the days. But you need to find a way to make it so that if you are going to be clearing out that spare bedroom at some point, that it comes from a place of inspired action. Find out how you could possibly inspire yourself so that this clearing of the bedroom becomes easy, it becomes fun, it becomes enjoyable. And just easy to do, You know, you're just getting on with it, and then boom, it's over. And oh, wow, there's all the black bin bags lined up to go to the tip, and it's done. And you're like, wow, cool. Feel so proud of myself. I did it. Find a way to do that. What could possibly inspire you personally to clear out this spare bedroom? What could it be? How could you inspire yourself? And I mean, inspire yourself. Some people, it could be the view of what the room will become afterwards. It may be the start for something, a home office, or a space to do more art, or a space to do meditation or something. Who knows, you know? And if you are feeling yourself flagging or doubting, then by remembering that thing, the inspiration of what the room will be like when it's finished and what good things it'll bring to you, that might do it to bring you back to inspired action. I think that, inspired action is the goal. There we go. That's my inspirational speech for the day. Inspired action is the goal. Learn how you were inspired in the past. What inspired you? Remember what it feels like to be really inspired so that we don't keep taking second best when there's this real awesome state of, out there, demand this level of inspiration back. Don't allow this idea that as you're getting older, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, you can. Of course you can. You just have to allow yourself to become really inspired and don't care what the neighbors say. That's an important part. Okay, guys. So I love you lots. I hope you found that interesting today. The inspiration. The unidentified flying object that's coming to you from space. Thank you very much for inspiring time. I wish you a sparkling and most inspiring week. Yes, I will absolutely second that. Not try, but actually do it, Ask for inspired action. Become aware when you are engaged in things that are not inspired action, because those things are problematic. I don't like using that word for many things, but for this I will. Because when you're not working under inspired action, accidents can happen. You get procrastination. You can get physical side effects, like pulling something in your back or, falling over. Some kind of reason so that you don't have to keep doing this. And again, this is not being stupid or being lazy. This happens when you're reversed to your activities. It just happens. Stress. Yes. So let's keep sparkling. Let us keep inspiring. Let's try and inspire the other people in our lives as well. That's a whole other topic. Okay, we might do that next Sunday. Inspiring other people. Yeah, let's try and be inspiring, guys. Right. Lots and lots of love to you. And stay strong, stay happy, and demand more inspiration from yourself, from Hollywood, from the BBC, from everyone, because inspired people create inspired action, and inspired action creates change for the better. With lots of love to you guys. See you soon again. Bye for now. Inspired action.